I go into my local grocery store and they have this machine that checks your blood pressure.
People staring, people, well, we don't care.
Now, before I get to this, I got to tell you, I never go to a doctor. And I swear, his office is right down the street. If I got sick, I could crawl down there. I know you've heard this story before now. A man is suing Subway sandwiches because his foot-long sandwich wasn't really a foot long. By the way, footlong was my nickname in high school. Let me think now. The last time I went to the doctor, one was for a dog bite that happened right over there, and I had to go get a tetanus shot for that. And the other was when I got bronchitis, I think. Yeah, I got bronchitis making this video for you. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, YouTube! I completely missed all of Christmas that year. Yay. First of all, am I the only person in the world that finds it a little disturbing that someone is measuring their sandwiches? So I'm watching TV the other day, and this show comes on, and it's called Curious George. And it's about this guy that wears a lot of yellow, and he has a monkey. See, this would never happen in the UK. I'm of the firm belief that if we had gone metric back in the 70s, none of this would have ever happened. Wait a minute. Hold on. The monkey understands English. When you think of taking care of yourself, naturally, a grocery store is the first place that comes to mind. In one of the episodes, Curious George became a scorekeeper for one of the games, and what he did wrong was he didn't know how to count. So they have this blood pressure machine. It used to be the old-fashioned blood pressure machine. He had the numbers in the wrong order, and so his friend, who is a human, comes up and starts lining them up and says, okay, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. You press start, and it starts to squeeze your arm, and it takes the readings, and then the readings would show up in digital numbers on the screen. I remember when they tried to get us to go metric, and only if we had, because it would standardize everything. George had this epiphanal moment, and he got it, and he did it perfectly from then on out. Holy crap! And so one of my hobbies, every time I go shopping, is I spend a lot of time in the drug area. That didn't come out right. What if the government were to say to us, okay, we're going to go over to the metric system, we're going to do it in, say, 10 years. It would be bedlam. So now when I go shopping, I go over to the area where the blood pressure machine is, and it's new, and it's modern now, and it's touch screen. Nobody 80 years old knows nothing about no touch screen. So just so you understand, I'm watching Curious George, who is obviously a math genius, and the next show that comes on is about a dinosaur that runs a daycare center. They have one start button, just like the old machine. You press the start button, and then the touch screen appears, and in order to proceed, you have to press the touch screen, which they don't know to do. Sometimes these same stations will stop with the dinosaur and the monkey, and they'll beg you for money. And they say, if you don't give us money, we're going to shut down. Hey, that's the way my business has worked for years. I mean, you'd go into a gas station and you'd say, well, how many miles is it from here to Atlanta? Well, it's 77 miles to Atlanta. What would that be in metric? I'm sorry, I can't help you. Why can't you help me? Well, Walter's the only one that knows metric, and he won't be in till 4. Every time I go in there, there's always somebody sitting there, eyes glued to the screen. They've been there for like 2 hours waiting for this thing to do something, drool coming out of their mouths. I know between the UK and America we're people divided by the same language, but isn't it great? I know I'm an old guy, but at what age do you think that it's going to work, that if you stare at something long enough, it will die? So my personal opinion is we have a whole lot more to worry about than the length of your sandwich. And really, if you start measuring your sandwiches every time you go in somewhere, the terrorists have won. Even as an old person, there's nothing worse than an old person rant. I mean, a really old person rant. Because they're sitting there, and the more they rant, the higher their voices get.
I don't know why you can't just press a button and have it work.
Wait a minute. I just had a great idea. We ought to get the monkey to go down to where they're giving the blood pressure test and get him to operate the machine. Wait a minute, they got a dinosaur that runs a daycare center? So even worse is you go there and you get one of these slips of paper and say, hey, you're doing really well. Everything's right under, my BMI is fine, the whole deal. And then on your way out to the car, you get run over by somebody.